Welcome to the Four Rooms podcast, where we explore the four rooms of entrepreneurship: health, wealth, scale, and relationships. Each episode is dedicated to opening new doors and uncovering insights that empower you to design your entrepreneurial journey to be both lucrative and fulfilling. And now, your hosts, Amber Spears and Brett Kaufman.
All right, welcome to the Art of Acquisition.
The Art of Acquisition.
Listen, this is our first time doing this, and here's why. We're at Amber Spears, Four Rooms.
Mastermind.
Call it a mastermind. But, you know, we've been in the industry for a long time. We've been to many masterminds. I have. I'll speak for myself. I know you have too.
Yeah.
Now we're all like, we all sound like a bunch of old people because we're like, we don't do masterminds. We're sick of it, you know? If we're at a mastermind,
Right.
It means there's something different. Amber's definitely in that category for me. There's very few. I'm only in two right now, and for a reason. And the one that I'm in is actually who was here speaking.
Yeah, well, I actually sent her a text yesterday and said, you know, in 18 years of me attending, producing, and creating masterminds myself with our partners and the people that I've dealt with, this has probably by far been one that I would say is in that top of ever.
For sure.
And what I see her building is something that nobody right now in this space that we're in now, no one is building. No one is building a really safe place. No one is building a place that is built around relationships. That's all about what can I sell you and what can I do.
They say it. Honestly, I've been to a lot that
for
say
marketing,
it.
right?
But she actually does things
She
intentionally
does.
to curate that and make that happen.
And she kicks people out if they don't follow the rules.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, right? Like, she's not in it for the money.
Totally.
She's truly in it for the relationships, and it shows. And
So
I
if you're in
think that's
business,
powerful.
entrepreneur, like this, everybody and every one of us who've been doing it a long time will
Yes.
say the same thing.
Right.
It's all about proximity. It's like being in the right rooms, being around the right people. And this place is where it's not just 50-50 of that, it's 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the whole room, the whole people, the whole group, every person I've met has, each one of them I've been impressed where, you know, it's like they weren't just starting out kind of entrepreneurs
Right.
either, which is fine too, you know, but for the most part it wasn't. And so it just felt like you're with a whole huge family of people who've gone through exactly what you have and
Right.
also are ahead of you. So anyway, she's done an amazing job.
Amazing.
More than anything, I love her integrity. I love who she is, how she stands, how she takes a stand, and how she shows up in life. And that's what I like to get behind. Anybody can create things, but she's like, people come because of who she is.
Right.
They know that is going to spill over into what she creates.
Again, goes back to authenticity.
Yeah.
She is authenticity in itself, and
Yeah.
it speaks from the stage. It speaks to every single one of the people in that room, and they all emulate what she does.
She's not
And so it's
driven by
great.
getting the money. That's what I love.
No,
not
not
at
at all.
I mean, it's required, but it's not like what moves her. And so, you know, her intentions are pretty
Pure.
pure. Yeah. So I love it. So we thought it's a live event. We might as well do a little ditty on Art of Acquisitions. And guys, we are all about like making your life better, not just your portfolio. So you and I are going to have a lot of fun with it. Deanna has a lot of life experience in the whole arena of acquisitions, and specifically we're going to be doing things like consulting for equity, things that anybody can do. Doesn't
Right.
matter. I was a single mom for years. I would have loved these kind of resources. So I think for you and I, we're like, you know, this is our passion now to do,
Right.
is to bring opportunities to people and help save our mom and pop businesses. And
Absolutely.
there's so much, and we're just going to sound like do-gooders, but you know, we're not trying to. It's just kind of like, we have this experience. Why would we not bring this to people?
Well, I think everyone is trying to say, oh, it's all about mergers and acquisitions, which we're going to call about M&A, right? But there's so much more to that. And there really is the power behind helping small businesses. And a lot of people don't want to help the small businesses. They only want to go after the larger businesses. And that is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about those little mom and pop shops. We're talking about the people that have put 30 plus years into blood, sweat, and tears into their business, and how we can help.
And they
that.
might think it's dying and that
Right,
it's
and
not
it's not.
salvageable.
Right.
But that's the thing, is like, we have our A-team experts that can come
Yes.
in and like, you don't like business glow up, but I'm using it. But like our
I just got vetoed.
Our A-team is like the A-team, the show in the 80s,
right.
right? They're a bit of the rebels because they were wrongfully accused and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And they're just like, well, we're going to just go and do it then. We're just going to do it on our own way. And that's kind of how we are. We're like, you know, there's a lot of paywall. There's a lot of barriers to entry for other people with other stuff out there. And we wanted to create this like an old radio show. People can call in. We're going to bring the resources and help educate and bring both.
Yes, and it's for anyone. So anyone that's listening, whether you are in the mergers and acquisition space, whether you're just toying around with the idea of what would that look like for that freedom. Maybe you've heard of consulting for equity. It can be for you. This is especially what we're going to dial into. But if you're a mom and pop shop, especially, we'd love for you to pay attention, because we're going to help you so that you don't shut those doors, so that you're not going to brokers and having to pay these outstanding fees. And I'm not saying brokers are bad. I'm just going to say that. But I'm saying that's not your option that you have to do. We want mom and pops to realize that there are other ways to continue your legacy of what you built, and we're going to share all of that.
I love it. And what's even cool about that is you could even go and find a mom and pop shop and get a piece of the pie.
Exactly.
And
right?
You have to do nothing. That's like cool. I love it. You just don't need to come.
Oh, we're going to talk so much about
It's going to be so much fun.
So much fun.
You're not going to want to miss it.
That's right.
While we're here, I was like, my goal in my show I'm doing Maria Approved is to really bring forth the good guys. And I don't want to be the exposer of things, but I've seen enough charlatans in the industry. They say one thing on stage and they're another person behind the scenes. I am only interested in like really bringing exposure and light to the people who are really making a difference with their life or with their business or whatever it is. He's a friend of mine, and I've known him for years in the entrepreneur space, and he actually just had this amazing life experience and then created a movie. And
but who does that, right? Like, that's so amazing. So many people think, oh, I want to talk about and write a book. He made a movie.
Right. And it's like a real movie, not
right.
like, we shot this in our backyard.
Exactly. Like, it's not on Zoom. Like, he made a movie, y'all.
Yep. And I'm very passionate about the subject and who he is as well. And so we're going to bring him on for a minute, if that's cool.
I think that's great. I love him. He's awesome.
I call him Nick, but I think it's Nicholas
Oh,
Kuzmich.
but let's not make
How do you
it
say
formal.
like, get over here. Come on in,
Nick.
Nick. So I'm so excited to have him on. So get over here and jump
come
on
sit
in
the
with us.
middle.
Oh,
There you
thank
go.
you.
We're not
Come
formal.
on, buddy.
I get to sit beside two beautiful, intelligent, smart people and just get to hang. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. Do you like to go by Nick or
Nick is
Nicholas?
easiest.
Yeah.
Right.
One syllable.
Right.
Nick. All right.
One of the things I love the most is that this wasn't like, you're not like, I'm a movie producer, I'm going to produce movies. In fact, quite the opposite.
Yes.
People have no idea the feat that is. Like, that's climbing Mount Everest to me.
No, let me ask, can I jump in there? Did it feel, before you did that you were about to climb Mount Everest? Or was it like you were just like, I'm making a movie?
I was going in blind. I had no idea what making a movie actually meant.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be hard.
All right.
I knew it was going to be difficult. I had no idea what it was going to be mad. But I equate it to like if you ever try to build a house.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So
I would,
I've
yeah.
done it twice. And what you realize very quickly is you've got to really like the people you're working with, otherwise it becomes very difficult. It always goes over budget, and it always goes over time, and it is going to put stresses on you more than anything else.
Yeah.
And so there's actually
But it grows you.
So that's the amazing thing. I think if, I used to tell people, if you ever want to like really personally develop, get married,
Have a baby.
have
Have
kids,
children.
and make a movie.
I would like to say have teenagers.
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
just
I'm not
do
there
that.
yet. I'm not there yet.
They eventually turn into
They
that.
eventually-
Yeah.
But
That'll stretch you.
I mean, so there's a line in the movie that I say is towards the end as we're wrapping up 2 years of shooting, and the line was something along the lines of like, who would have thought then when making a movie about transformation that the greatest transformation would happen to me?
Wow.
And so it ended up being truly it pivoted my whole life. It brought stuff out of me I didn't know was there. It brought out a resilience. It brought out tears. It brought out a lot of
It brought out the real.
Yeah.
Actually, I appreciate you saying that, because what I didn't realize was that for 2 decades of my life running my business, I was engaging in performance. The distinction is like, now I'm trying to live with presence. Then I lived in performance. And everything.
None of us are guilty of that, so we
No,
don't know
no,
what
no.
we're
So
talking
I'm just
about.
sharing it
No,
as an
yeah.
individual, like
Just
who's
totally
never,
isolated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know no one's gonna. check
What I
with-
loved about it is your fire that brewed this movie was what is the focal point for me. Because you didn't just go, hey, I've made billions of dollars as an entrepreneur, let's do a movie. It was actually because of that performance game, it led you
That's a
into,
good point.
right? And you tell me if I'm wrong, but I want to nutshell it so people understand a bit about about the movie.
Sure.
And what led you there is, you know, when you had things happen in life that led you to this opportunity and you took it, right? And so you and your wife did some plant medicine and a variety, not just one,
Yes,
right?
yes.
In that process, it led you to doing one specific one that really like shattered you open in a good way. And then, you know, I know this because I've done it for 20 years and when I was in the health space. And when you really tap into something that just breaks open that performance and dismantles it really, when you have that dismantling, you need people with you to help support you in it. So it's not something people just go do. And so, yeah, as it happened for you, it was like, wait, you have to get this message to other people. They need to know what's available. And that's my heart in it, because even if I don't like a certain plant medicine, I don't care. It's not about that. It's that people need to know that there is something like that. I call it a disruptor.
Sure.
Because it really was part of your journey, right? It's
Yeah.
like it disrupts and it dismantles who you created yourself to be up till that point.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you go, well, who am I now? And what do I do now? And I think, if I'm right, you and your wife started helping people in that way afterwards, because your heart in it was really like, man, we got to help people not just go, hey, go do plant medicine, but like, what's after that?
Yeah.
And your movie's called Unbecoming, and I love that
Me too.
because it is that be, do, have kind of thing, where it's like we're, especially as entrepreneurs, you have to be. You got to be on, right? You got to you're in be, do mode. And you were like, oh, I forgot the being part.
Yeah.
And now you have. And the have is where the kicker is, right? Like, you had all the things, you know, you had the Lambo, you had the house, you had the this and the flashy, and all of a sudden, and just like I've worked with a lot of people who've, you know, on their deathbed and back, and nobody gives a shit about that stuff. Ever. If you can help people before they get to that point with whatever is available, that's going to help their life. And it's not just you.
Yeah.
It's your wife, it's your kids, it's your kids' kids. It's literally
Everybody.
such a ripple effect. So, yeah, is that kind of accurate in like why, your why?
Yeah, very much so. We call it in the film, everyone has an inner knock. Some people call it different things, but everyone has an inner knock, and it comes up in interesting times of life. Like you attend a friend's funeral or a parent's funeral, like, like, I should rethink things again. Even at a wedding or a positive thing, or even if at the end of a really good Christopher Nolan movie, you're like, wait, does that thing stop spinning, or does? Yeah, as you just question life a little bit. And oftentimes I just felt like I was so busy that I wasn't listening to the knock. And then when I finally took the time to like hear the knock, and in this case it was through a series of work that we did internally, that I couldn't resist it anymore. What I'm trying to bring to the world is not necessarily everybody do plant medicine or everybody go do breath work or like, but it's something is going to allow you to hear that knock. Do the thing that allows you to hear the knock and stop ignoring it, and as soon as you hear it,
Lean
follow
into it. Yeah.
And I'm more preventative thinking. I prefer to preach that to people, but it's not the most popular topic. Think about this: like we're all about the same age, and this has been a big thing for me when my dad died last year, and after my mom passed 7 years ago. So that was one of those knocks. It's a big. We can either wait for the 2x4 or the nuclear bomb, right? Like you're either gonna get the knock early or you're gonna wait till more things have to get louder. When my dad passed, I was like, wow. When I would tell friends, I either had one of like two or three reactions, right? I either had like my best friend hasn't lost her parents yet. They can't even go there. So you feel very alone, and you know there's this myth that just because we're adults we don't want our parents. It's actually we want them more. That's when we're really craving their wisdom and like, hey, just even if they weren't a great parent in your opinion, they still have a lot of collateral information in life, right? That is going to be valuable. And so you either have people who haven't lost theirs or they're in the middle of it too. Or they're taking care of their parents right now. And I remember I came back into my town after my dad's funeral, and I'm an ex-boxer, right? So I went to my boxing thing, and this one lady goes, where you been? And I said, oh, my dad passed. So, and she's like, oh, yeah, mine is like about to next week too. I was like, wow. Is this a transaction? You know, but I got it. Like she didn't mean to. It was just like, that is just what's so. And at our life now, a lot of people are changing businesses or relationships are changing or whatever. There's a lot. Your kids are moving out. Like you have the older kids.
I have grandbabies.
You have
yeah.
grandbabies.
No.
So
I do. 5, dude.
My
5.
good man.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So, you know, you're dealing with life differently
I'm
than when our
obviously
kids... Not that much. But, our kids aren't 2 years old anymore. Like
Right.
it's different stages. So I know, lost your dad, and you were a lot younger. I think you were 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a different experience. However, you held that.
Sure.
And that came out when you did this plant medicine, right? Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily matter what's occurring in your life right now. This is the accumulative effect of whatever we held on to or whatever we didn't process, and it becomes the weight of the world. Yeah. And so I just want to say that, like, what you're doing, what you're exposing, what you're bringing forth as opportunities is like, take the opportunity.
Yeah.
It might feel terrifying for a lot of people. I know it is, because
Yeah.
I've actually done that for many years with others. And there's this, you might see the movie and go, I'm not doing that. That looks scary.
Sure.
It's only scary, I think, because we've not normalized just screaming at the top of your lungs when you want to.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And just allowing that.
I think the important question that we're referring to here is, or the question that I'd love for people to consider is, like, is the life that you're currently living your own?
Mm-hmm.
Because to the point of my father, when I lost my father, I whispered into his ear, Dad, I love you and I'm going to make you proud, when he was on his deathbed. And little did I realize that in that moment, I put on an identity that says my life now has to be oriented around making my father proud. And I didn't know it, but my entire orientation and orchestration of, I've got to have a successful business and beautiful family and all these things because I need to make him. Now, he was already proud of me.
Right, of course he was.
But,
yeah.
And how would I ever know if I hit that goal, because he was gone? And then later on in my life, I became a pastor. And when I became a pastor, I put on another identity.
Yep.
And for over 2 decades of my life, I was living a life that was not my own. I inherited a costume to wear. And it wasn't until I took a step back and I listened to the knock, and I said, oh my God, I am performing characters that aren't me. Mm-hmm. And then when this happened, I was like, oh.
You weren't being authentically you.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were still you, but
It's
that
just
performance.
authentically you.
Yeah, but it was a
Yeah.
performance. I was playing the role of a son who was trying to make his dad proud. I was playing the role of a pastor who didn't quite fully believe everything that I was saying. And it wasn't until some of these experiences that I was like, I could just be me. Like the authentic version of me, and like show up and be present rather than trying to perform and do all the right things. And in certain degrees, I think that is the freedom we all seek. And yet, because somewhere inside of our systems, there's this weird innate feeling that says fundamentally I'm not enough, and so I need to become more, and because I need to become more, I need to do all these things to make me become more. And that's why we call the film Unbecoming, because maybe it's not about becoming more. Maybe it's about unbecoming and undoing all the costumes so you can just reveal who you actually are.
Yeah, the performance thing is real. Like, I had the blessing of working with special ops community with stuff like that, and they're all performance based. That's all they know. They're trained that. That's what's your rank, and that kind of thing. And we do it in society too, right?
Yeah.
With business and like what's your title, and at home. Just being a mom even is a performative field.
Sure.
You could head down a parent, I'll say,
Yeah.
And so, it's really like, well, who defines your markers? If you're not deciding your criteria, then that's where we're gonna end up. So I love it because the movie is really great for somebody who maybe has no idea what that looks like. And so it's kind of like you get to watch it from afar and then you can decide. But I would just say that whatever hesitation or fear people have in that is like, be with the right people and talk about that, because part of that stepping into that fire is actually the first step of your process.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? When you said yes and you had the courage to actually go, let's go, we're going in.
Yeah.
And what comes out of that is obviously feels like a new birth, right? It feels like a
really
rebirthing.
does.
So, and people don't know how good that is until you taste it.
Yeah, the process of like a bird cracking out of an egg is difficult, at least for the baby bird. It feels like it's. I read this thing years ago about the ostrich, and they don't say, I forgot the terminology, but it's like it is a very difficult process for that baby to crack the egg and move. But when they're out, that's when life begins.
Isn't it great that nature doesn't do what we do?
100%.
Because that chicken could be like, but I'm not good enough. I don't know.
I'm
I
just gonna
shouldn't
stay right
break the
here."
shell. And, I got too much going on in life. I can't stop and take a day to take care of myself. And, just the whole thing. We would laugh.
We can pick up some cues from nature on
You
it.
can. I have a sticky note on my desk, and it's so funny. I heard it one time from somebody that I was listening to, and they said, "Do it scared." And I have a sticky note, and it sits in the middle of my desktop monitor. She said on a call one day, she was like, you need to do it. And you might be scared to do it and take the steps, but what's scarier? Staying exactly where you are and not ever growing? Or do you do it scared and make progress? And she's like, something's gonna change, whether you like it or not. But are you gonna stay exactly right where you are and be scared forever?
Right.
Or just like jump, go, and do it scared and take that momentum? And I have that on there. I've had it on there for like 2 years, and I always look at that sticky note. And I won't move it because it's like, it's so powerful to me that like, you know, even when I think, oh, should I? What will people think of me? I'm like, just do it scared. Just do it scared.
There's a great company. Their marketing is beautiful. It's a company called like Moab Base Jumping. I don't know if they've ever seen this.
No.
And they're just holding a 360 camera, and they're attached to the person who's base jumping off a cliff for the very first time.
Oh.
And you just see the person behind them holding them, and they're like, are you ready to take a step forward? And they take a little step forward, and they're walking them through to the edge on a ridiculously high cliff. And you can see, I mean, you're jumping
Base
into
jumping
the
is
abyss.
terrifying.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
jumping into the abyss. And it's beautiful marketing because you see this person coaching this person, like they said, one step at a time. Like, we're going to get there, you're going to be fine, only when you're ready. Like, and then they finally get there, and then they jump. And what starts as sheer terror turns into beautiful ecstasy. And they're just like, oh my God, I'm on the top of the world. And then they get down and they take off the parachutes, and he's like, how was it? And they're always like, that was the best thing I've ever done. But it reminds me,
Right.
Up until the moment of the cliff, it's going to be scary.
It will be.
But then when you make the jump on the other side of it, you're like, oh God, I should have done this earlier.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
a beautiful example.
My mentor, like 30 years ago, one of the greatest things I got was like the chaos we create by avoiding stepping into the fire is so funny when you step back and look at it. It's like, I'm avoiding this and being so afraid of whatever it is on the other side that we're so afraid of. The things in the avoidant of it, that chaos it creates in life is amazing, right? Like, we just don't realize it. We call it normal.
Yeah.
And then the minute we do it and you step through that fire, like, that was so easy. Why did I wait so long?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about this kind of stuff, is I think that the stuff we make up about it, like, oh, it's bad, it's this, all the stigmas and all the programming around it. And it's like, please, this is nature.
Right.
Nature's doing this before you decided to be scared about it. So I love that you're stepping into it. I love that you're doing it. And I'm so glad to have you. You guys, everybody's got to see Unbecoming.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We'll
you.
post everything about it because I
Yep.
don't know where it's going to be and all that, but we'll do. But just so proud of you.
Recommend it to everyone.
No, I
Right.
appreciate
Yes, and I've watched you from beginning to end of where you're at now as an entrepreneur, and you feel it. It's palpable, the difference in you of just like, oh, Nick's here.
it. Yeah.
I got
Finally,
Nick.
and it feels so good to be just me.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
and to be
awesome.
here. And to get to spend it with you.
Aw.
Thank you guys.
That's the
Thank
icing on the
you.
cake.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for
Unbecoming.
being with us.
Thank you.
So
you.
appreciate
you
it.
guys.
You bet.
We're
Let's
gonna
do
have
it.
more people like that just bring
Absolutely.
amazing
Nick, you are
work.
awesome as always, buddy. I mean, and you know what I think I love about Nick is that anyone can say, "Oh, I'm going to write a movie," right? But if they're not authentic from the beginning, you're not going to see the authentic part of the growth in that process. And that is what he is, an authentic human being to begin with.
And it's not
And it showed
Hollywoodized
in that
either.
movie.
That movie is very raw. It's not Hollywoodized. So it's
No.
don't come for the villain and the typical story arc
Right.
of a movie. It's unconventional and it's unbecoming. So there you go.
There you
so
go.
anyway, I'm excited. Art of
am too.
Acquisitions. Here we go.
There you go. Let's do it.
Stick
you know
around,
what?
you guys.
Stick
We're gonna
around.
bring
It's gonna
amazing
be
stuff.
Fun. It's going to be fun. And here's what we really want. We want to be able to pull that out of you, that inner genius, that inner excitement of that you can do this too. And so follow along. It's going to be a really fun journey.
You love that part.
I
Boy,
do
that's
love that
boring
part.
to me. The
No,
business
it's
shit, I'm like,
not.
oh my God. So I'm going to make it fun.
I'm
That's
going to
my
make
goal.
it fun too, but okay.
You will, but you're the brain. I'm just going to be the funny.
Well, between the two of us, we plan on making this a lot of fun.
I have built businesses, but the way you do it is very unusual, very unique, and I love it. So that's why I'm
Awesome.
doing it.
Well, enjoy the journey with us. We're excited
That's
to
right.
to launch this and to have you all join us.
All right, Deanna, Maria.
My name is Deanna Rogers. I guess I would say I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor, meaning I invest in businesses. I have several. I have about 7. My passion, though, is consulting for equity. That's my jam. And I am also a part owner of a new podcast with the Art of Acquisitions.
My name's Maria Whalen Mormino. I'm actually changing my last name as I'm moving into media. So for 20 years, been an entrepreneur. I have multiple businesses in totally different private aviation, health, all that different stuff. And I just love the life of an entrepreneur. I'm a mom, a single mom for 20 years. I got a 21-year-old and a 7-year-old. And doing life as an entrepreneur with that has been interesting and very rewarding. So that's me. That's who I am.
I have known Amber for probably, 14 years. I've been in a slew of other masterminds with her over the years, and she's probably one of the most authentic and just likable people on the planet. And so when she mentioned that it was coming into my neck of the woods, I knew I had to be here.
I've known Amber for a very long time as well. 15 years? I don't know. Just, being in the industry, you get to know a lot of people. And so I've actually known about 4 Rooms for a very long time. But to be honest, a lot of us get burned out on masterminds. And I was at that point where I was like, I'm done. I'm done with that game. And then everybody who's who in the industry was going to it. And I was having a little FOMO. And I don't ever get FOMO. But I was like, it's not just the who's who, because I don't care about that. It was the who they are. And she was really curating just like great people. And so I really was just like, I just want to be there. And then launching the Art of Acquisitions podcast, it was a perfect opportunity where we were like, hey, this is a place these are the people I want to do life with and do business with. So that's what landed me choosing hers over anything else.
What I saw about 4 Rooms versus many other masterminds that I've been a part of over the last 18 years is that everyone in this room came to play because they believed in the program. It wasn't because of what they could get out of it themselves. It wasn't about wanting Amber to do something for them. I mean, they authentically came here to learn, to connect, and to share with other people. It is so giving. I was shocked at how giving everyone is in this room. And the players in this room are just, it's insane. Man, I gotta tell you, I've been very impressed with the people, the knowledge, and just, again, going back to the authenticity of not just Amber and her team. I do want to say that. I want to say, man, I'm impressed as heck from her team. I mean, incredibly amazing team. And that just starts from the top down. So that just means everything is just so great. And I've known her for so long and I just love her, but I can truly see the 4 Rooms is just an incredible home. It's a home.
My trauma from old masterminds, I was actually nervous to come to this for that one reason. And it was that most masterminds, you're sitting around and you feel like you're in a job interview. It's like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, oh, I don't want to answer this to 400 people. And you move around to the tables and play musical chairs. And it was not like that at all. And there's not the micromanaging. It was like, hey, we're all business adults here, be there, do this. And I know everybody says this, but she curates it, and she really does. So before you get to the event, they know everything about what you like and don't like, what you kind of want, don't want, and then who you want to be connecting with. And so for all of us, everything is, for me at least, is efficiency. It's like, if I have one day to be there and I'm leaving my kid and I'm going through that much to travel, I want to make it the most worth it for me, right? And selfishly, that's all of us when you run a business. So you just have to do that. And so yesterday was like, wow, in one day, I felt like I met and connected with the most strategic people and people that I like that are of such integrity, which is my biggest ethos, right? Is they're all people that I want to do business with. And I was able to do it all in one day. I felt like what I would do in a year. And I have not ever said that at other masterminds. And it's just a lot of other things that aren't typical. It's not a pitch fest. They're not selling. It doesn't feel like that. You don't feel like they're being soft and nice to lure you in for the big close at the end, So it allows you to just really be present and actually be there for what you want to be there for, not kind of on the edge of your seat. Are they going to pitch hard? Are they going to try to sell me? And that stuff still occurs in a different way, but just not in that icky kind of feel way. And so all the things about it, even where she picks things based on weather, I was like, thank you. I always hated when people do things at a beautiful place and it's terrible weather season, I flew to Hawaii at the worst time, kind of a thing. So all of it, it's all just, that's her lifeblood. Her 4 Rooms is what she focuses on in making it an industry standard so different. And so, if, you kind of have to taste it to know the difference, really. But I can say it from 20 years of doing it and going to thousands of them, that there is a big difference. When I was a young entrepreneur, like early into my career, it does feel intimidating. I felt that way going to like Roland Fraser's group because they're all very business language, and like I was like, I don't understand anything they're saying. I didn't feel that at Amber's. I would highly encourage, if anybody is like, hey, I feel like I don't know how to bridge that gap into walking into the room, they probably do more for people to feel comfortable than any other group I've ever been a part of. Therefore, the group is already the kind of people that welcome that. So you don't feel that way at all. I didn't even feel, even doing this as long as I have. I mean, we came because we're launching our show, The Art of Acquisitions. And so it was like this perfect timing, but still feeling like, am I gonna fit in? Is the people gonna be, gonna receive this, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is that's what I say to myself. I was like, that was so lame. That was so lame. Why did I even think those things? But I get it. And so if there's any hesitation, whatever the story is for you, I can just say that beyond a shadow of a doubt, this group is the place that's a big kind of open hug for people who are entrepreneurs in any way, shape, or form.
I've been invited to so many different masterminds over the years and participated and created masterminds. And one of the things that you see in marketing all the time is, we're going to have all these powerhouses in there, right? And then you get to that event and, okay, they were paid to play, right? Like they were paid to be a speaker and then they left. So you had like 30 minutes with them and that was it. She didn't do that for this. She just said, if you want to be in the room, show up, right? And what was interesting is you got here to the room and it was filled with powerhouse people that were members, not just paid speakers. And they're everywhere you turned. Every speaker on that stage that came across, even in the little breakout rooms, were powerhouses, like incredible powerhouses, and they were members. They were not paid speakers. And I think that speaks volumes for this home, for the Four Rooms, because these are all people that could have any mastermind that they could be in, and they chose to be here. And they chose to not just stand up on stage for 30 minutes and then walk off and leave and you never saw them. They came to the parties, they came to all the other, they were participants in the other rooms and asking questions and helping one another. I mean, I've not seen that in many years, like from any other groups. And that speaks volumes when you're sitting next to a powerhouse and they're wanting to help you. And that is the other thing, is that everyone in this room is genuinely wanting to help you. They asked a question, what can we do to help you move your business to the next level? And they genuinely were like taking notes and saying, hey, I'm going to connect you to this person and this person and this person. Like, you don't get that at most masterminds. It's all about them. And this was all about you. And you felt it from the moment that you checked in at the registration desk when they gave you your curated packet. You felt it from that moment. I have to say that if you're even thinking of being on the fence of attending a mastermind, this is the mastermind that you've got to figure out how to be in this room, because this will change your business. Four Rooms is authentic, genuinely authentic.
As we wrap up today's episode, we have something special just for you. If you've been inspired by what we've explored today and you're ready to take your learning to the next level, then our Four Rooms Mastermind live event is the perfect next step. And because you're a part of our podcast family, we're offering an exclusive 10% discount on your registration when you apply and are accepted. This is your chance. It's your chance to build relationships with other ambitious entrepreneurs like yourself, to dive deeper into the four rooms of entrepreneurship, and to connect with experts who can truly help accelerate your growth. Simply follow the event link in the description of this episode and use the promo code 4rooms10. That's FOURROOMS10 on your application to claim this opportunity. This offer is subject to application approval and it's limited, so don't wait too long to make your decision. Join us and transform your journey with the insights and networking that only our live events can offer. Thank you for tuning in today. We look forward to seeing you at the event and, of course, right back here next time on the Four Rooms podcast. Until then, keep balancing and keep growing.